As soon as you start swimming after something, they feel like they're being chased and they disappear. And so I've had my best interactions treading water, staying in the same place for an hour. Composition. It's like, where's the shark in the frame? What is the frame? And hope and put myself in a position that a subject will swim into my composition. I was just learning and I was just soaking it up, and I was just like, oh man, like I found my people. Like this is incredible. And then I had to do my first lecture and I absolutely choked it. Like I remember I finished my lecture and I took off my shirt and I just like wrung it out. Like my first job was in Japan, and I didn't know anything about like what my actual job was going to be. So I knew nothing of.
Really?
I knew nothing.
So you left to a different country and you didn't even know what you were doing?
Well, yeah, it kind of like changed the trajectory of my life in some ways. It wasn't only like, not only financially.
Welcome to Working with Wildlife, where I, your host, Jaedon Lunt, speak to experts and enthusiasts in different fields of nature to find out how and why they do what they do. There are some truly amazing environments in this world, but only a few people get to experience that beauty every single day. Starting out as a tour guide on ships traveling the world, today's guest now runs his own ecotourism business in Cape Town, or as he likes to call it, Kelp Town. In this episode, you're going to hear about some of the fortuitous moments and intentional decisions that have led today's guest to spending so much time in the underwater world in Cape Town. He's also going to share some of his own personal photography tips that will help your photos stand out that little bit more. So without further ado, please welcome to the show the passionate wildlife photographer and surfer, James Lowe. James, thank you very much, man, for coming on to today's show. It's been a bit of a wild adventure to be able to get you here and make our time differences align. First off, dude, I hear it's an amazing day out here, out there in Cape Town, where you live at the moment.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, we got a beautiful day. It's like May now, and between seasons in Cape Town, you always get these really like beautiful, calm days. And yeah, today is one of them. So no wind, and there's some swell coming. So pretty pumped for later.
Yeah, gonna go for a bit of a surf. I hear you're a very, very keen surfer.
Yeah, I've been surfing, grew up on the beach, and been surfing since I was about 6 years old. So it's kind of just part of who I am now. And today there's actually some big waves. So I'm hoping that the spot will in quite.
What's big? What's a big wave?
Today will probably be about 10 meters tall. So yeah, there should be some nice nice drops.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'll take the big gun out from the garage and dust it off and paddle out. We've got a spot which is about like a kilometer out to sea, and so one of those one of those offshore reefs, and those that's really nice. So today
So how do you get out there?
Just a paddle.
Oh, you just paddle a kilometer out. Oh yeah. Like just with your hands, just swimming out there.
Like in prone on a surfboard, just paddle out there, yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that people generally swim a kilometer out on their surfboards. That sounds, I mean, I've seen people like, I don't know, 100 meters off beach, 200 meters off beach, but I've never heard of a kilometer. I am obviously well experienced, not in surfing, but we're here to talk about not just surfing, but also what happens underneath the water. You are a professional underwater photographer, and you take some amazing shots. So what are you doing for work at the moment, James?
At the moment, I have my own company, Kelp Town, and I take tours underwater. I do also land-based tours down to the Cape Peninsula. There's a beautiful reserve down there with beautiful, like our Cape flora. Is incredibly unique, and there's about 1,100 species in about 7,000 hectares. So it's like, this most magical place. It's wild. It's in the middle of Cape Town. There's like ostriches and baboons and some antelope roaming around.
What?
And so it's like this paradise in the middle of this busy city.
Wow, that's so cool. I didn't realize. So you do land tours as well. So obviously, like, did it start off with land tours, or did it start off in the underwater world, and then you've progressed to land tours as well?
Yeah, it started with underwater. I guess I was posting pictures on Instagram, and then someone was like, "Hey, can you take me in the water?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I gave the price and took them out, and that kind of snowballed into me starting a business. And I also have a background in tourism, so it was kind of a natural thing for me, and kind of saw the opportunity to stand out with my nature background and wildlife background, and stand out in a very saturated tourism scene in Cape Town.
Yeah. Okay. So that you've been able to pick out a niche, I guess, is what you're saying. How long ago did you start your business? How long ago did this all start up?
It's about a year old from starting my website, and the tourism side is I only got my official guiding license in October last year, so it's still very fresh actually. But it's been going good.
Wow. Wow, congratulations. But yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
So you do underwater tours?
Yeah.
You were posting Instagram photos. What were you posting Instagram photos that ended up turning into a business?
So that's a bit of a story. But I used to work on ships and going to some pretty epic places, and I started picking up a camera, like just topside, to learn, like just to document the places I was going and make some memories. And I kind of got a little bit into it, and I started hanging out with the other photographers on board and asking tips and like getting the composition and nailing composition topside. And later on, I was introduced to the underwater world. It wasn't something I grew up with, and then I started snorkeling, and I kind of just found the kelp forest in Cape Town just absolutely so mind-blowingly beautiful. And I'd already had this like topside photography background, and so I took a GoPro out there and was taking some videos and a few photos with the GoPro, and eventually it just wasn't enough for me, and I bought a housing. Like, you kind of like with buying a housing, it's just like you're not good photographer yet, or like you just have to splash out. There's no option. It's either like a GoPro or like something really fancy. There's like a very small margin, like there's a very small medium margin for underwater photography. So I guess I just built up the courage one day and took a big leap and bought myself this amazing housing. And just
how much was the housing?
Oh man, it was, I guess I bought it secondhand. It was $5,000. On a South African rate, that's a little bit, that was like quite a bit for me at the time. And
man. That's a big leap.
Yeah, it was also like it was like the beginning of COVID. There was also like uncertain future, and just
work.
Yeah, no work. I was in the tourism, no work, but I just like
rough.
It was like good incentive for me to be in the water every day, and I just took photos in the kelp forest every day, and eventually like figured out how to use the light and use the forest and take some photos that I was really proud of.
Amazing photos.
Yeah.
And so beginning of COVID, you've spent $5,000, which with the what's the currency called? The South African currency called
the rand.
Currency called the rand.
Yeah.
The rand. So, which is a lot. I was talking to someone from South Africa also, just a couple of weeks ago. He's a snake catcher. And so I was talking to him, and that's why I've got a bit of an idea of like how much that actually is. So it's not cheap. So did you decide to buy that housing out of with the intention of creating a business from it, or was it for a hobbyist purpose?
I definitely wanted to pay it off. I definitely wanted to make some money out of it. I don't think I definitely had a business idea, but I didn't know what it was or like where it was going to go, or I definitely had like aspirations of being a wildlife filmmaker or something, and I wanted like a foot in the door. I wanted to get people to notice me. So I had, it definitely was ticking. It definitely wasn't just like a purely hobbyist mentality.
Awesome.
But I didn't know where it was going to go. I had no vision of where it was going to go.
Where it was going to go. Have you paid it off?
Oh, yeah. Many times over.
Awesome. Amazing. Brilliant. So when you bought that camera and the camera housing and you went in the water for the first time, were you thinking like, what did I put this casing together correctly, and will I lose my camera at the end of this dive? Were you thinking that at all?
Definitely. I had such anxiety over taking it into the water for the first time. I think I had it in my room for about 6 weeks before I even used it for the first time, because I was just like, I don't want to ruin it.
Don't mess it up. No.
Yeah, I was so like precious over it. It's like pretty robust. Now it gets thrown around pretty hard. But I was like,
well, that's a good testament to the quality.
Yeah, no, I was super. I was so protective over it, and I was visualizing how I was going to get in the water and how I was going to get out the water without scratching the dome, and so I was a bit panicked back then about taking this thing in the water.
And is that something that generally should be considered, like how you're actually going in the water? Like, is there a process around that, or that you were just being extra cautious?
No. So like when I first got the housings, it came from this other photographer dude. So it was secondhand, and it came with a whole bunch of gear. So I had strobes and everything, and I didn't know what I was doing. So the strobes were really bulky and big, and I was like, oh well, I have to use them because I've got them. And so I was carrying these big strobe arms, and then I weave this kind of neck, like a lanyard, I guess.
Lanyard?
Yeah, a lanyard to hold the camera, so I could have both arms available to climb over the rocks to get in the water. Bit of a longer lanyard than the normal handle that you use.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it was just trying to figure out all those little technicalities, but I mean, eventually it just turned out to be. Now it's.
You figured it out.
Yeah, I just figured it out, and it just takes that little going in the water.
To just do it, yeah. Was it that there's a saying, fear. Was it fear is a mile wide, or an ocean's mile wide, and only an inch deep, or something like that? Which I guess oceanic wise, that makes sense to yourself. So, do you still have that housing at the moment? Yeah, I still use it. It's still my go-to. The camera now that's in it, it's the Canon 5D Mark IV. So it's still a DSLR camera when most people have gone into mirrorless. But I kind of find that the quality is
still amazing, and I don't really have a need for, like, for my purposes, I don't really have a need for going into anything better than what I've got. And so, yeah, I still love it and enjoy it so much.
You're pretty good with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it might be cool a bit later on. I don't know if you have it around or close by to you. It might be cool just to see what that's like and kind of run through it later, maybe a bit later in the conversation, if we remember. Because, yeah, well, that sounds like it's to spend $5,000 and you've been able to pay it off. Do you feel like it was worth it, that original purchase?
Yeah, like, I mean, it kind of like changed the trajectory of my life in some ways. It wasn't only like, not only financially, just it like gave me a different, I guess the photos I taken has given me a bit of a different identity to people that don't know me, which is, obviously I don't like that superficial identities and stuff, but it definitely has like, yeah, like, I guess I've gotten noticed by a lot of different people that in any other circles, if I ever apply to a job, it's like a massive, people see my profile and it's like they have a lot of credibility already from that.
A new level of respect was gained due to it.
Yeah,
it's kind of what you're
people. Yeah, you get a seat at the table. People invite you to places. I mean, in a very niche ocean world, it's not like it's not like I'm at the UN or anything, but
yeah, I'm now got the right hand seat of the president.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah,
what a change this housing made.
Yeah, no,
that's amazing. Still,
like,
all the same.
I guess it's just like it's given me a bit of credibility, I guess. Which I think, it's like more valuable than money sometimes.
Wow. Yeah, well, that's pretty amazing to even be able to say that purchase and that a purchase like that has had such an impact in your life. And I mean, there's some pictures behind yourself at the moment, which are some that you've created, but that's a different form of artwork as well. So you've taken a photo and then you've done something to it. What's going on there behind you?
Yeah, so I began to print out my photographs that I'm taking in as cyanotypes, which is a old medium of photography, essentially. And basically it's a chemical reaction that uses UV. So you make this, mix up this chemical, you paint it onto your paper, and then what I do is on Photoshop, I take my photographs and I invert them so the black is white and the white is black.
Right.
So like a black and white, turn it into black and white, and then invert the image. And then I print it out onto on a clear plastic, and then I put it on top of my paper, the paper that's got the painted chemical on top of it, and then you leave it in the sun, and the sun reacts with the chemical, and it leaves this beautiful blue pigment which seeps into the paper, and then when you wash excess chemical, you're just left with these, like, your original positive image. And so I've been doing that as like as artworks.
Additionally,
yeah. So I've got them in a couple galleries around Cape Town, and I've got them on my website. Really?
Hey, that's really cool.
Yeah, and on my website, and so people can buy them online, and yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of them. Obviously, apart from the ones behind you, but the ones behind you, do you have them up because of any particular situation or moment that those pictures stand out to you from?
These are just home decor for me. But if people come around and have a look, then they're on show. So I can, sometimes people request to come and see them before they buy them. And then at least people can come and my house being like a showroom so people can have a look, see what they look like on a wall and get a little bit of perspective of how they look framed up. And yeah.
Okay. What was that like? The first time someone was like, "Hey, can I come over to your house and you look at your paintings on the wall?" Was that weird at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit nerve-wracking having people like that you don't know in your home, but not really. I think it's like more exciting that people are into the product that you're making, and that, I mean, if people want to buy your artwork, it's such an honor and privilege that you want to open your home to them. But yeah, from my perspective, it's just awesome if people.
It's whatever now. You understand? It's easy. Yeah. Initially, maybe a bit strange, but it's easy now. So, wildlife work experiences, like what have you, is there anything outside of, presently you've got your business, but then you also worked on charters and working on 100, 200 person cruise ships and traveling around for some over 9 years you did that. Was there any kind of other wildlife related work experiences that you've had outside of those things?
So outside of the ship work,
yeah.
No, not really. That was, I mean, I've done a few things here and there, but like that was of my work was for the last my whole career really was.
My whole career, yeah.
Yeah, it was a whole career. Was the ships and traveling around the world and looking at wildlife. And
how young were you when you started doing that?
23, I think. Yeah. So it's 10 years ago.
23, and then you... Yeah, wow. Did you say 15 years ago?
No, 10 years ago. I'm 33 now.
Oh, 10 years ago. You're like, Jaedon, slow down. This wasn't 15, man. It's 10. Slow down there. So I'd love to... What's been like a standout wildlife experience that you've had in your years in this wildlife photography career?
Oh, I don't know. That like there's a few awesome ones. I think like just for me, like coming from South Africa, and one of my very first trips was up in Alaska, and I was driving the boat for the very first time, and a complete noob on driving the Zodiac, and I had a whole bunch of guests on my boat, and there was we're on the Cape Peninsula, which is like major brown bear territory, and there was these beautiful like mom and cubs that was walking down the riverbank and just like feeding on the intertidal zone, and that was like a bit of a standout moment for me because it was such a different animal to like I've seen lions and leopards and all the African wildlife, but like seeing like such a cool, like seeing this massive predatory animal or like big this massive animal was such a standout. But then I've seen other like really cool things like down the coast in Russia, being surrounded by orcas and big volcanoes in the background, and and then like seeing like leopard seals in Antarctica just tearing apart penguin after penguin after penguin, and then maybe back home here, like having like recently I saw a humpback whale swim through the kelp forest, which to me was like such a cool environment to see a massive animal in this like maybe like 5 to 8 meters of water in this beautiful like kelp forest environment, and there's like this massive humpback whale swimming through. Like that was like, oh, that stood out.
You would have lost your chops.
Yeah.
So you got some shots from that, surely?
Yeah. I had my camera, and
because I think I did remember seeing some, but so I'll actually, I might even put some on the screen for those who are watching, just because that would have been an amazing experience. And I guess in all moments like that, you would have had to be pretty prepared. So I would love to hear about how someone might be able to best prepare themselves for a moment such like that. To like photography wise, what are we talking about? Positioning yourself physically, positioning the camera, that kind of thing. But I'm curious, what out of all these like amazing places that you've been to, Antarctica. We were talking just before about one of the places you had been to in the South Georgia, and the amazing setup that is, and West Papua New Guinea, amazing places. For you, what do you think has been the most impactful wildlife experience for yourself in regards to how you viewed nature, how you felt about a certain topic?
That's like, yeah, that's a bit of an interesting question. Impactful. I think in terms of how I viewed nature.
Yeah, and nature, like what like a moment that impacted you the most?
Oh, that's so like me. Yeah, that's a tough question. I don't know if they. I can't really think of one. Hey, I get so involved in every moment. I kind of like I stop concentrating on everything else, and I just love like when I'm watching wildlife. Whether it be like birds on the beach or a whale in the kelp forest, I like just, I'm pretty present in those moments, and I'm watching behaviors. I think what's incredible about wildlife is when you slow to take the photo and you're able to just watch the behaviors and kind of suss out how animals react. You see such amazing details. I know like we had leopard seals in Antarctica, and I felt like after them over and over, I kind of noticed patterns in how they reacted, how they approached the boat, how like the different personalities of leopard seals. And I'm by no way a leopard seal expert at all, but I just watched them enough times and was able to kind of suss out what the next was going to be, or where the next move was going to be. And so I think like when you become experienced with watching wildlife, you're able to predict. I think like marine mammals and swimming with marine mammals, or like any marine life, for instance, trying to chase interactions, it just never works ever. As soon as you start swimming after something, they feel like they're being chased and they disappear. And so I've had my best interactions treading water, staying in the same place for an hour, and not moving, and
underwater for an hour.
Well, not underwater, but just at the surface, just waiting for. Yeah, you're like lying there in the water, and you just stay in the same place, and you let everything happen. With the animal will get comfortable with you being there. They know that you're there, and they'll go on about their business and do their thing. And I don't think it was ever a moment that taught me that. I think it was many moments over many years that taught me that, of like how to relax and be present and watch not just the subject, like the whole scenario, and see what's going on. Makes a huge difference.
And be able to see what's maybe coming up, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
would you say that you can kind of read the environment now, so you're able to better position yourself, or you can see things that might be occurring? Is anything like that true?
Oh, definitely. Like, I mean, you can always be better, and you can always be more in tune. But I definitely feel like I've got, especially marine life. I think on land I'd be like absolute. If I went like on a safari, I'd be like absolute nowhere.
Not so great.
Yeah, but
underwater, that's where you own it.
Underwater, I've got it down. Like, kind of positioning myself into a place to kind of show that they give them the power, give the animals the power. Not box them in, and
so it's kind of working with the environment instead of forcibly injecting yourself into it.
Exactly. Yeah. As soon as you start chasing after shots or situations, it just it freaks out the animals and
just kind of destroys it.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good kind of opportunity to swim into the next that kind of idea of how to prepare yourself and what you can do to be able to set yourself up for the best opportunity to get a good photo. How can someone be most prepared to be able to have those moments, be ready for those moments? So gear wise, what are we talking? We're talking about settings. We're talking about camera gear. We're talking about housing. Well, is there a camera you suggest? What camera, as a start out for someone getting in the water, what camera do you think is best for someone who's just starting out? Is there any extra gear that is necessary?
Okay.
Any gear that you don't think is necessary? That kind of thing.
So with underwater photography, it's a little bit of a tricky one because, like I said earlier, there's a big gap in gear. Like, it's a housing for a red camera is the same price as a housing for like a really cheap low cost camera. So like the housing build is the same cost for any style of camera. So that's the hardest thing about underwater photography, is that when you do invest, you kind of want to buy a housing for the best possible camera that you can afford, because you're paying a very similar price. So like entry levels like GoPros and those Insta360s, and the one is like an Olympus Tough. It's like this tiny little camera that's got really good macro capabilities and goes down to 10 meters, and you can adapt and put a couple lenses, and that has made some people get really good images down here. And like I said,
it's the Olympus.
Yeah, it's like a Olympus TG6 or something. It's the camera. It's got a really good macro function, actually. You can zoom in and see like very, very small details on nudies and nudibranchs and all sorts of little corals and stuff. So yeah, that's a good one to get people fired up about underwater photography. But unfortunately, in my experience, I've just found that like when you want to, there's a big gap, like from like in topside photography, you can pay as much as you want, like, but you can get like a very medium average camera, you can get a bad camera, you can get a slightly better camera, But in photography, it's like, or in underwater photography, the housing, like you may as well just get the best camera that you can afford and buy housing for it. So it does make it a lot more tough. And I bought secondhand gear. It was a lot cheaper than new gear. The one thing that I did, which I'm very grateful that I did, was someone was selling a package. And I was actually particularly looking for a package because if you put different lenses onto your camera, then you need different domes or different ports. So all of the extensions are really difficult to find or very expensive individually. So when I was looking for a system, I actually looked for like someone selling like the entire kit. And so when I bought my gear, I bought not only the housing, but I had strobes and arms and different domes and ports and kind of like everything included that you would ever need in one box. And that really served me well because I could change lenses, I could get different perspectives, and yeah, that really helped the creative process. I wasn't stuck to one lens and one dome for a long time before like having to save up more money and buy a dome and then try a new lens. I kind of just had it all. And so that I would actually definitely recommend that. It worked out so well for me. And then on a more like complicated note on terms of actually taking the photo, the biggest mistake I see with new is taking photos of a subject. It's the absolute worst. And what I mean by that is if you see a shark, you take a photo of the shark. But like when I'm taking photos, composition, it's like, where's the shark in the frame? What is the frame? And so I actually, instead of looking for subjects, I look for compositions and hope and put myself in a position that a subject will swim into my composition.
I see. So you're working from environment to subject, not subject to environment.
Exactly. And
okay,
I think that actually goes into the previous point that I made about wildlife interaction, is that when I'm taking photographs, I'm not chasing my subject, I'm rather focusing on my composition. So I'm finding a place where if a subject comes into my frame, it'll make an amazing photo.
Yeah, I'm following. And so do you think that you were like that when you started, or did you learn this pretty quickly, or was there a lot of trial and error involved?
Well, I mean, with everything, you're never going to be great at anything on your first go. I've got a...
What?
No, that 10,000 hours is an absolute
so you're not great. Yeah, you're not great in your first try, but through trial and error.
Yeah, I guess with underwater photography, and I was not doing it I've never really done it much on scuba. So every time it's free diving, and that's also interesting because you're like on a breath. So you're holding your breath your entire time while you're composing this image. Looking for compositions. And I guess over time what happens is it becomes more instinctive. So you focusing less on finding a composition because your brain is...
Yeah, your brain's freaking out and needs air.
Yeah, exactly. So you just do it instinctively.
That adds even more to, the pictures that you take, because like those images you haven't sat there, been able to sit there like for a long period of time. You've had to time it, hold your breath. That's and then go down and go from environment to subject. How long have you been underwater for? Like, what's your longest breath hold?
So, curiously, my breath hold while I'm taking photos is really bad. It's like I can max like a minute and a half, like on a huge, but my photos are all shallow.
That's pretty good.
No, but my photos are all shallow water. So most in like between 2 and 5 meters of water, and so it's pretty shallow. Like I can stand most of the time.
Yeah.
Or maybe not quite, but like it's pretty shallow water.
Yeah. Well, that's handy. But
it actually makes it harder, because the shallower you are, the harder it is to maintain buoyancy. So if you go for a deep dive and you get to the bottom and you kind of just like sit and wait in one little section, but like at 2 meters of water depth, the buoyancy is so difficult to maintain, because you've got like your wetsuit, your weight belt only starts working at like 6 meters, where you can actually maintain like a good buoyancy. So yeah, like if you put too much weight on, then you just start sinking. You hit the floor. If you put too little weights on, you just float back up to the surface, or your bum's in the air and you like trying to keep your head down to take the photo. So I end up like using a lot of energy when I'm taking photos in shallow water. So generally I'm like under for like 20, 30 seconds at a time. And then like my funny thing is, if I go for a dive, I stop taking buddies, which is a bad thing to do, but they would just get frustrated because I'd stay in one place for like an hour, because that was my composition that I was going for, and I was like wait for the lighting to be right. Wait for like, if I found a good little zone, I could stay there for half an hour to an hour, where like I'm just working in the area to try to get the best light possible, the best composition possible.
And your friends are like, what's going on, man?
And there's so, like, in a kelp forest, there's so much going on. Like, we've got, like, the kelp is moving, so the lighting is changing, like, per second. Like, the light is, like, coming from above, and if the surge goes, like, that way, it just blocks all of that light. Yeah. So then there's like suddenly no light, and then the surge changes direction, and then it floods down,
all the light.
And it's like way overexposed. And so you need to like wait till the kelp fronds above you are like the exact right. So it's like letting those beams, those like individual beams of light, but then they have to hit. They have to be in the right position to hit like the piece of coral that you're going for, or to hit the little reef, or to hit the animal perfectly. So you're getting that like that punch from the bottom. So often you're like just watching these little rays like dancing around at the bottom of the seafloor, and like waiting for them to like hit the right moment. The right moment, and take the photo, and that's what I do. So that's where I get the photos, is like by patience on that zone, and waiting for the light and the composition, and like the camera just takes the photo. I mean,
but you've got a lot that goes on outside of that as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, well, like you're in the kelp forest a lot. Maybe it's a bit of a side mission, but I hear there's a lot of like health benefits from kelp itself, and in particular, one guy that's big on it is Dr. Eric Berg in America, some chiropractor, and he's like super into like kelp. So I was just wondering, is kelp really that good for you, if you know, and if so, and do you know, and if you're out in the water and you're getting hungry, do you have a snack?
It's something I hear about all the time, how good it is, but and I know there's a bunch of like forage culture around here where people are foraging, and it does have like all the benefits. I can't list them offhand.
Neither.
Yeah. And
so there are benefits.
Yeah, definitely. Like someone was trying to sell me the other day on a kelp like face mask, where it was like they'd harvested kelp and then like cut out like a face, so you could just like stick it onto your face and then like throw it away, and then like throw it into the compost later, which I was like, oh, that's a pretty good idea. And I like,
that's
like if it doesn't work, it makes your face wet for it. I'm not sure.
That's great.
I'm not sure if it I guess like, I mean, they do harvest kelp and it goes into vitamins, and they make fertilizer out of it, and there's all sorts of uses.
So you have great skin then. You would have great skin.
Oh man,
you're
like
just hanging out in kelp forest all the
not
time.
really. My skin is just butchered by the sun all the time. I'm like, I got the like really like fair, and so I just lather up with like,
that doesn't help
with zinc.
with kelp.
Yeah, I know. No, I don't have a snack. When you're out on the water, it's pretty everything's pretty salty, and you just want a bit of fresh water at the end of the day.
Not more salty kelp. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And so you don't the kelp, interesting, does kind of work. No, can't really say it as there's vitamins and all that kind of stuff. So heard some really cool techniques and a really cool technique which is challenging for some people, as you said, your friends or whoever came out with you. They no longer come out with you because they're like, man, James needs to find somewhere else. But you're like, no, this is where the magic is happening. But they don't quite understand. You also said just a little bit earlier in the conversation that you've been able to travel a lot with your work. You started when you were about 23 on these cruise ships. Why can I ask? Did you decide that as, I guess, a career choice for yourself?
Mm-hmm. Cruise ships was like the completely opposite of what I thought was in my capabilities. I finished university. I studied geology when just straight out of high school, and personally, I had a difficult high school, so confidence was super low, and I was really never someone who would be confident to speak in front of people. And the cruise ship job was actually as a lecturer, like that was your title, was title on the cruise ship was geologist lecturer. So I got hired as an expert geologist. So the ships would go all around the world to these crazy places, and like contrary to people's opinion of cruise ships have like water slides and everything, these ships are pretty, like, they had the cabins and the restaurant, but like not much facilities. So the entertainment when we were at sea was a whole series of lectures from the guides, and they would be marine biology or geology that I would cover, ornithology, so someone would be on birds and someone would be on history and someone would be on whales.
Interesting.
And so it was amazing. Like it was so cool. But I had to, I finished university and I didn't really know. I studied geology. Like my dad was like, I actually wanted to study marine biology. But my dad was like, never get a job in marine biology. Like, and then I was like, kind of I didn't know what to do, but I wanted to be outside. And I heard stories of people working on like the oil rigs for like 6 months, and I was still like a passionate surfer, so I valued my free time. So I didn't want to like lock myself into a day job. So I was like, if I work like 6 months of the year and chill out for the 6 months, then I can still live like and surf a lot and do all of that. And when I started my degree, like everything was booming. And when I finished my degree, the world economy had just like crashed, and like the price of oil was like down by like 50. It was like from $150 a barrel to like $50 a barrel when I finished. And so like in my industry, there wasn't any hiring. Like it was very rare. It was hard to get jobs, and I was just like looking for any options, and I got desperate. And I think it was like my mom's like friend had worked on something similar and passed over a Facebook post to me, and I replied to a Facebook post, and that's how I got the job. And I knew nothing about it when I didn't know where I was going. I was like, my first job was in Japan. And I didn't know anything about like what my actual job was going to be. So I knew nothing of.
Really?
I knew nothing.
So you left to a different country and you didn't even know what you were doing.
Well, yeah, like back then, I had very little like idea of what was like what the day to day would be like as an expedition guide, as a guide, as a lecturer on a cruise ship. Before I sent an application to this, to this guy, like, so it was very fortuitous. Like I won't say it landed in my lap, but it did like kind of happen.
Land in your lap.
This thing that happened that I got into this career. It wasn't like it was something it wasn't like something I chased, but I did like have I had this innate like love for wildlife. I'd been a surfer my whole life, so I'd been exposed to nature. And as a kid, like even though I wasn't prompted, I used to love like drawing wildlife. I always used to draw birds or whales or orcas, so I had this like innate love, but I'd been like. It had
encouraged
it hadn't been
kind of thing?
encouraged out of me as a kid or growing up. So so when I got into this environment and all these experts and like wildlife, and I was just learning and I was just soaking it up, and I was just like, oh man, like I found my people. Like this is incredible. And then I had to do my first lecture, and I absolutely choked it. Like I was just sweating, and like I was like, I can't actually do this. I'm not geared up for it. And
how long was the lecture meant to be, and how long did it go for?
Well, I mean, it was meant to be 45 minutes. The first one went like 20 minutes. And I was just like lots of ums and buts and sorries, and like just I remember I finished my lecture and I took off my shirt and I just like wrung it out, and it was just like
you're able to wring it out.
It was so bad. I like cringe whenever I think about it. In my career, I've never seen anyone as bad as I was, and it was not an exaggeration. It was like an actual fact that I was like very, very, very scared of being in an environment. But the allure.
Yeah, but that's so bold as at the same time. Like that takes still a lot of courage to have. Like you mentioned in high school, you there was a lot of confidence that you didn't have, but then to take a job that. Well, first off, you went to a different country before you really know what you're going to do, and so then you're kind of forced into it. At the same time, you also still chose to get up in front of a group of people and speak. So that's kudos still for you to doing it, but man, that moment would have been quite obviously stressful. Your story, the wringing out of the shirt kind of says it all.
Yeah, and it didn't improve quickly. I still had to go, so I finished that contract and I was on a no hire list. So I found out later in life, I was like, oh, they had me in the garbage.
Really?
Yeah. So I was after that.
Get the can.
Yeah, after that contract, I was like, yeah, he's out of there. Of the job was so high. I was like, this is everything I ever wanted. This is travel. This is wildlife. This is insane places, driving boats, all of these cool things that I really love to do is be a confident public speaker. And so even though that was the worst thing in the world for me, I was like, if I don't do it, it's what am I going to do? I'm going to work in the office now. So I went to Toastmasters. I got home, and then I just begged them for another job. Basically, I just wrote emails to, because the guy gave me a bit of an opening. He's just like, oh, thank you for the service, and we'll let you know if anything comes up in the future. Which is one of those goodbye emails. And I took it as the positive side. I was like, oh, that's an opening. He said if anything comes up in the future. So every month I was emailing and saying, hey, is that thing come up yet? Maybe there's a spot, any urgent positions. And I got to the last one, and I was just at the end of my rope, and I told my mom at the time, I was like, this is the last time I'm going to email them. And a minute later, I get a drop, and it's we've got this spot for you. It's in a month's time, and I was like, oh no, now I've got to talk in front of public again, and
it worked,
and I can't blow it, and so then I was urgently, I just went to Toastmasters, and I was signed up and just threw myself on stage. I had I've got a crash course of 6 weeks to be a good public speaker, and I just crash course myself and just threw myself at every opportunity. I went on stage and I bombed out, but I was like, it doesn't matter if I bomb out because the next time I'll not bomb out. And I just absolutely threw myself at it, and it changed my life. And after that one, it wasn't great by any means. I still was shy and nervous, and but I had a little bit of built a bit of confidence, and able to do enough to get the third job. Yeah.
So in that 4-6 week crash course, what was the biggest piece of information that you held on to that changed how you felt on stage and how you spoke?
There were some pretty the biggest one. The biggest one, I had a mentor, the Toastmasters organization was amazing, and they give you a mentor, and the mentor that I got was actually someone who prided himself as a mentor and took it as a kind of a passion role. So I owe a lot of my career to him. But one of the things that always stuck with me, especially with that, was if you get compliments, no one goes out of their way to compliment you on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of the time, our natural instinct to compliments is actually to like be quite negative about them and say, oh no, he was just like saying that to be nice, or like I'm actually not that good, or like the talk that I did was sucked, but he was just trying to be nice. So like you actually like turn a compliment into a negative. But
But
he was like, what if you say, okay, no one's going to give you a compliment unless they mean it 100%. So if you like say, okay, I get a compliment, and then you believe that compliment, but then you wait until you get another compliment, and then you build like a bank of compliments. So you like hold on to all of these like good, like positive affirmations, and you like build up a bank of positive affirmations until you've got, until you're like feeling confident because you've got like 100 positive affirmations in your bank. And suddenly, like, and suddenly it grows on you, and you just change your. So I kind of took that to heart, and I stopped. I just started believing compliments, and then when I started doing that, then I realized I was getting them like more and more often, and it was like because instead of rejecting them, I was like accepting them. And that was like
awesome.
So it wasn't like a game-changing like thing that happened overnight, but it was something over a long period of time where like
you can see it had an impact.
Where I could see it had an impact because over a long period of time as that bank was getting, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool that you were able to do something about it as well. Like you didn't just be like, flop that. It was so cool, but I'm not going to do anything about it. The fact that you tried so hard monthly on the last one, how awesome. On the last one, you finally got the opportunity to be able to do it. And then when you were about to give up, and then you did the course as well. So Toastmasters, I may have heard of it before. Is it like a public speaking organization that teaches you how to be a better speaker?
Yeah, it's like, yo, man, it's an amazing organization. It's an international organization, and have one in your neighborhood, like guaranteed. They're all around the world, and it's an NGO, or a non-profit organization. So the fees are like really low, and basically it's a club environment. And you have like your introduction to it as a manual, and you have to do toasts, hence the name Toastmasters. So it's like a 5 to 7 minute speech, and the first manual is like a complete introduction to public speaking, and your things to, and then so your first speech is like an icebreaker, introduce yourself. And then it goes into other parts of public speaking, like ordering your speech, so writing speech. Then it goes into using body language and vocal variety and making people laugh, humor in speeches. So kind of like each speech focuses on a different element. And then after your speech, you get evaluated by a member in the club. So they've got different levels of experience. And when they evaluate you, they have to give you 3, like, in a sense, like, list all the things that you did well. And it's normally one thing at the end that they could be better at, or that you could be better at. So positive. A very positive thing, and then like hinting at like how you can be better, and so it's a really like encouraging way to get better at public speaking. And
if you could value that time of your life for how it's kind of prepared you and where you are now, what would you value that decision you made?
Oh, well, I honestly think that was I didn't know it at the time. That was like, if I think back of my school years and university years, and I got into such a hole in terms of confidence that if I hadn't been pushed to do something like that, like I actually can't imagine where my life would be now. Like it was so game changing. Wow. Like in terms of where I am now as a person. Not even my career was even secondary to that. It's more like personal relationships, being able to communicate, being confident, all of that just absolutely changed. And then having the backing of talking on cruise ships was once again like just affirming.
Allowed you to practice.
Yeah, like when you're a lecturer, or when you're talking in front of 100 or 200 people, you got nowhere to hide. Your whole you're exposed to everything, and if you're not confident in your, people can see through it, and they see you. So you feel like people can see it. So it comes out in your speech and your body language and everything. So it's like this. I was just putting myself
or out of your pores as you experienced.
I was just putting myself in this crazy environment, and I had to, or I missed out on traveling. I missed out on wildlife. I missed out on it was financially quite a good job as well. And so it was a cool, I think back to that as almost like a crux of my life, actually, like a turning point.
And that's pretty something. I understand to an extent, of course, but public speaking was never something I was fond of. I think it's number 3 in the world, and then I think snakes is number 4. I could be wrong, but they're in the same they're in the same kind of playing field, which is pretty amazing. So that's so cool to hear that how much of an impact it has had on your career, and that was an enjoyable experience. For you mentioned a little bit didn't have a lot of confidence from high school, but more so a little bit earlier. Did you grow up with wildlife or pets, or what was your environment like when you in your younger formative years?
Oh man, never crazy. We had a good family life. 2 older sisters, and we would have a small dog or a small cat the whole way through growing up. I remember it was kind of funny, one of the games I played, it was interesting. I used to the refrigerators that we had had those gates instead of a tray, a flat plastic tray. Back then it was a metal gate that you'd slide in, and would defrost the fridge. Another thing that you had to do back in the day, to take everything out and so then I used to turn the couches upside down and take these metal gates and make an enclosure and chuck my cat in there. And then my cat was this crazy dangerous animal, this crazy lion, and I was a zookeeper pet. That was one of the games I remember playing as a young kid. But in terms of then we moved location in South Africa, and then we ended up in this beach called Komiki, where I live in Cape Town, and it's this tiny little, I guess, a hamlet or a small little village town, about an hour south of the city of Cape Town. And it's a little bit further off the way, and it had beach and all these surf spots, and So I grew up as a surfer, like as I started surfing at 6, and really like it took hold of all my passion, and pretty much like all my thought patterns are just about surfing from when I was growing up.
All your thought patterns, dreams, aspirations, energy, vision, focus,
exactly.
breathing,
like
eating, everything, surfing.
Surfer. Like, I mean, I just loved it so much, and it was fun. Like, I grew up and was just going home and surfing every day. Like after school, we'd go surf and surf until dark, and I'd always get in trouble for coming home after sunset. And because I could walk to the beach and walk to go surfing, and so like you just trying to catch the last wave until it's like pitch dark.
Yeah, because the ocean does stop waving at a certain time.
Exactly. So that's like kind of, I did have a really nice like upbringing in that sense, like just like by the beach,
awesome.
surfing, and it was cool. Like, but surfing took over like from that wildlife ambition at that stage of my life. So it didn't really have too much interest in, no interest, but like, the ambition for wildlife or the appreciation of wildlife wasn't really there in the early years of my life.
But you had an appreciation for the natural space, I guess, as a whole.
Yeah, well, surfing, being in the ocean,
you still loved getting outdoors.
Being in the ocean, like sunsets, cold water. In Cape Town is also a really cool place. Like the ocean is alive. Like you'd always see whales and you'd see dolphins, and when I was younger, like paddleboarding and seeing like the southern right whales breeding in the bay, or like being bumped into whales while you're out surfing, or like having like encounters like that as a kid. And just like just growing up with marine wildlife was so nice. And I hated the kelp forest, actually. It was funny, but because the kelp is like hard for like you can't surf over the kelp heads. It's like it always like stops you, or like you'll have these little speed bumps where you're going like really fast and suddenly your board stops and you fly forward and you land in this like really like hard kelp, or you paddling out and then the back of your hand hits the kelp, and it's actually kind of hard. It hurts really bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the head of the kelp is like this really hard piece of it's like algae, but it's like hard, and you just like as you're paddling, the back of your hand always like hits it, and it's just like it hurts, and your hand's cold from the water already, and so any like impact is like the kelp was not my favorite thing back then. I was like, let's just get rid of it. The waves would be so much better if there wasn't kelp in the way. So like things changed a lot in terms of
kelp. A lot of things have changed. A lot of things have changed. Yeah. Now it's your like livelihood almost. You're hanging out there all the time.
Like I love the kelp now. But like it wasn't a wildlife upbringing at all. Like it was beach town surfing, that sort of like I played rugby, I never was into like team sports or anything. Like it's kind of funny because I've got a really big frame, so people assume that I grew up as a rugby player. But I was just like, just wanted to surf really. Like that was it for me.
No, that's so cool. And now, you're a snorkeling / scuba diver, photographer, tour guide extraordinaire. Yeah, with a big frame.
It's like, it's funny how life works.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. And so that's your kind of like early years, jumping up now where you are presently non-existing, which is the future. Where do you see this business of yours progressing to, and maybe even then past that? Like, what is your vision set on for the future?
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned like future. I've always lived my life like kind of, I haven't really set like incredible goals, or like big like 5-year, 10-year plans ever in my life. I've always, it sounds a bit cliche, but I want to let like passion and flow just let things happen organically. And I've always, I think the one thing that surfing did teach me was like to value my time a lot. So I never jumped into things where like it would tie me down. I hate the notion of feeling like tied down or restricted, or I can't like change my path. And like I always had that mentality that I wanted to be, if the waves are pumping, I wanted to be able to go surf today. Like I always wanted that freedom, I guess. And so I did say no to the jobs like that were in the middle of the bush or like on the mines in the middle of the country, because I wouldn't be able to surf. And so like it helped me to adapt like my future to passion. Like I just wanted to like follow my passion, and I think that's kind of like come through in Kelp Town and my business going forward, is that I hope it grows, and I hope it expands and becomes like this big
it's big something,
this big awesome company, and makes a lot of money, and allows me more freedom. Like allows me more freedom in the future to do more of what I like to do. Like but in essence I really love like the vision of Kelp Town is using what I learned from the ships, which was that nature communication. And I think it's so lacking in the tourism world. People go places and they jump on a tour bus with a tour guide, and it's like something that people actually don't know that they want. I learned that on the ship, because we get all of these guests that were coming onto the ship for this adventure, and a lot of them didn't know that they were going to have these guides that were going to talk about the wildlife, and we're going to bring these places to life. And I found that like amazing, and it's like it's a really good product. And so on my tours, the vision is to talk about wildlife very intimately, to take people to sites which are away from the mass of tourism, and take them, like go walk on the beach, some kelp, look at the isopods and amphipods which are eating the kelp, and then explain the whole environment and really get into the nitty-gritty of this beautiful world that we live in. And especially Cape Town is like one of the most beautiful places like in the world. There's a city with mountains and incredible diversity.
So diverse, as you said. Yeah.
We got there's 1,500 plant species alone in Cape Town, and the forests are just thriving. There's marine wildlife, bird life, a lot of endemics. So we have this incredible environment, and then on top of that there's the scenery. It's like these beautiful cliff mountains that drop into the ocean, and then there's these beautiful like granitic boulders along the coastline. And so it really is like this idyllic white sandy beach environment, but then you throw on top of it all of the diversity, the scenery. It's like really it's like a honeypot It's just got everything. And I think people that come here do experience that. But yeah, just getting them connected, getting people connected with nature and wildlife, and hopefully inspiring them to do the same when they get home as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's an amazing mission, and it's really cool that you've been able to take your passion and your enthusiasm for nature. And I'm like seeing like through our conversation these little bits of your story and how it's kind of worked out through your years previous, and now you're kind of like implementing everything into this business. And so, is the business name called Kelp Town?
Yeah, it is called Kelp Town. You can check out kelptown.com, my website. And my Instagram is James_KelpTown. So I just use my photography platform as a way to, I grew quite a nice following on Instagram with my photography, and it became an awesome platform to start a business where I can get direct clients instead of having to go through agents, where I get people coming directly to me. And yeah, like I said earlier, it's like amazing to be able to reach like millions of people around the world I would never, ever have had the opportunity to talk to or interact with in any other way. So it's become like photography, and underwater photography has become this incredible tool, not only like people, this environment that most people overlooked their whole life or never thought of, or and then now being able to show like millions of people that would have never don't have access to that environment, it probably wouldn't have been on their feed normally, and now they're getting to see it, and so I think that's really valuable.
Yeah, and I guess tying into that as well, with all this stuff that you're doing, all this passion that you've got, what would you say is like your driving force behind everything that you do? Is there something or a way of process that you walk through in your decision making in how to grow your business, or how you interact with your clients? Is there like a foundational reasoning behind everything that you do?
I don't know if that reason is
a foundational musical.
No, I mean like I think I learned like I took communication quite seriously when I was on the ship. Like I learned how to read people and understand their needs, and also like how to explain things in a way that people understand. And that was really good for me. So like, and I actually really love talking to people, which is crazy. Which is a big shift on how I grew up, like being all shy and awkward. But I really enjoy interacting with people, and I love, like, I get super passionate when people are interested in what I'm talking about, and I can actually, so that kind of is driving me at the moment. Is like on the ship where we'd have like 100 people, and they'd change over every 10 days, or like 6 days, or 10 days, or 20 days, but it would be a big turnover of people, and so you end up like chatting to a lot of people. And I always like just find that, like I kind of, since I finished working on the ships, I've kind of missed that a bit. I've missed like that intense interaction. And so for now, like for now, that's actually kind of driving me, is like kind of like getting back into it and guiding, and I really kind of I love getting that feedback and that positive affirmation again.
Yeah, you love talking to people.
Yeah.
And also bringing that information and having that communication with people and that connection.
Yeah.
And over a unified passion.
Yeah, I mean, you get people, like, if you get people excited about nature, it's like the number one goal. It's awesome. And if you can do that through photography or talking to them, you feel good after that. So like, I don't think, like, in terms of like reason for my business and like how, like, like, it, for me now, it's just like chasing more into action and growing that side of things from my point of view is like expanding my reach a little bit.
Yeah. That's so cool. That's so cool and exciting as well. I mean, I'm excited for your business and for what you're doing. It's so cool seeing the quality and the colors and hearing more about like how you've got to really settle yourself and you're doing it in free diving and that whole process it just adds more to the, I guess, the product that you offer to people.
Yeah, like
I'd love to. Just continue. Sorry.
I was just like back on the kelp forest, like how much of an amazing environment it is.
It's true. It is. I haven't been there, but like I want to. After this conversation, I want to go there. I'm not thinking about it yet, but afterwards, I'll likely be thinking like, so when could I actually go to Cape Town again? Because like the diversity is quite amazing from wildlife wise on land as well as underwater. So it's becoming more and more of a bucket list location. And so it's pretty amazing that you get to live there and work there is amazing. Is amazing. I was thinking with everything we've spoken about, I've given you a lot of questions, but would you be ready to go into the overrated, underrated segment where I ask you 5 more questions?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Amazing. So again, the segment is called Overrated, Underrated, and in this, I'm going to give you 5 questions, and in response, you say either overrated or underrated, and if you really, really can't choose, I'll give you the wild card, and you can say it's rated.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Amazing. Overrated, underrated. GoPros for underwater photography.
Overrated.
Number 2, overrated, underrated, building a personal brand around your lifestyle.
Underrated.
Oh yeah. Even after this conversation, I realized how much that really is true for you. Question number 3, overrated, underrated, sunlight in underwater shots.
Oh man, so underrated. Like, that's everything. No strobes.
Hey, so you said you kind of like time as the swell and of the water comes and the kelp kind of folds one way. You've got to wait for that light to come down. Is that? I'm curious. Is there an additional thing that you're kind of keeping in consideration when getting that really nice shot with the sunlight coming through?
Like, for me, the main thing is being shallow, where the sunlight is actually getting down through the water. The colors, because, like when you go deeper, you lose colors. You lose the reds and the yellows. Yeah. And then you just get the greens and the blues. So if I stay the shallower I am, the more colors I can get. So being in a range where I can still get the reds and the oranges and the yellows, but not too shallow that I lose like the essence of being in a deep kelp forest. So
yes,
that's like that's a big thing for me. And then timing the light. Make sure like if there's a beam of light on a piece of coral, it's going to shine its natural color instead of if it's like otherwise you just have to put a torch on and it just looks really crap because it's white and it like just doesn't suit the whole environment. So
it doesn't work.
There
it's
we
not
go.
Natural.
So much for quick
That's
fire.
good. That's good. That kind of extended that one. There is 2 more questions. Kind of actually, we ended up touching on this. Overrated, underrated, kelp as a health food.
Ooh, I'd say rated. I can't comment on that. It's probably pretty good.
It could be potentially. Final one. Overrated, underrated, eating raw fish.
Ooh. I don't know. Our fish are friends. Overrated.
Not food. That's your business that you're talking about. Don't eat your business.
Big fish, good shots.
Good response. Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. Those are all the questions of overrated, underrated. That's the segment finished. I guess maybe as a final question, is there anything that you would like to leave the listener with what we've spoken about? Is there anything that you think would be beneficial to the listener with all our topics we've covered?
Come to Cape Town. Come join me for a snorkel in the kelp forest. Come to Cape Town with me, or come to Kelp Town with me. Seriously, go out and explore, chase your passions. I think a lot of people get trapped in thinking they can't do what they want to do, and I think it's like really, it's kind of just a choice that you make, and it does come with sacrifices. Like it's never going to be easy to do it, but there are ways, and especially in today's society, it's easier and easier to do what to do your passion. So I would say that. But yeah, I think we talked about a lot.
That sums it up.
We talked about a lot today.
We have covered a lot of ground, and I appreciate everything you've had to say. It's been a pleasure hearing your story, and so thank you very much for coming on to the Working with Wildlife podcast.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for watching or listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to find more information on today's guest or more information on the podcast, you can find those details in the description below. Otherwise, I hope and look forward to seeing you in the next one.